guy's a very damaged candidate.
And the father-in-law, one of the biggest donors to the campaign and the biggest boosters, is a founding member of an organization that has been investigated for funneling money to the Muslim Brotherhood on the way to Hamas.
I think it's best if we kind of get the pearl clutching out of the way.
Pearl clutching Hamas and Israel on their same moral footing. That's pearl clutching.
Well,
no sane person would say something like that and not.
Well, then I'm very insane.
I'm like an all of the above kind of person when it comes to this guy. He says, I'm not a socialist, not like those guys. I'm a capitalist. All I want to do is nationalize the healthcare industry, eliminate border control, and seize wealth, not to, use it for anything, but just to make the playing field fairer.
Abdul El-Sayed, lovely gentleman. He's a man of hate. He doesn't love Israel. He doesn't love Jewish people. He hates them with a passion that burns in his heart, and there's not a frickin' thing he can do about it. When I watch Abdul,
I'm less focused on folks who are campaigning with me, more focused on the folks I'm campaigning to. I invite the president to focus what I'm saying. I want to get money out of politics, put money in your pocket.
He's full of shit.
Tonight on CNN, President Trump goes off on Abdul El-Sayed. But what happens next might be even better. The panel goes from El-Sayed to Israel to Hasan Piker to straight up whataboutism. Then eventually, for the first time in CNN history, Abby Phillips interjects with an obvious question. What about the economy? This one gets wild. Let's get into it.
Abdul El-Sayed, lovely gentleman. He's a man of hate. And now he's going around saying, no, I love everybody. He doesn't love everybody. Put him in office. You're going to find out what he loves. He doesn't love Israel. He doesn't love Jewish people. He hates them. He hates them with a passion that burns in his heart, and there's not a frickin' thing he can do about it. When I watch Abdul, he's full of shit.
But at the end of the day, I invite the president to focus what I'm saying. I want to get money out of politics, put money in your pocket, and pass Medicare for all. I think a lot of Michiganders want that right now.
I think that's what the president meant by he's full of shit.
There is a lot to talk about when it comes to El-Sayed in terms of his past statements, his present positions, all of that. Is it the right political strategy for Republicans to focus on his Muslim name, call him an Islamist, say he wants to institute Sharia law, versus actually just dealing with the actual policy that he supports?
I'm like an all of the above kind of person when it comes to this guy. He says, I'm not a socialist, not like those guys. I'm a capitalist. All I want to do is nationalize the healthcare industry, eliminate border control, and seize wealth, not to, use it for anything, but just to make the playing field fairer, but definitely not a communist. But yes, they can absolutely focus on what I regard as anti-Western ideals, like the notion that maybe he shouldn't celebrate the death of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei because his constituencies might be sad about that. Like the fact that he couldn't issue a condemnation, full-throated, unequivocal condemnation of an attempted terrorist attack on a Michigan synagogue that would have killed 140 Jewish children without condemning Israel in the very same sentence. And like the fact that he pals around with Hasan Piker, who he can't condemn, but who has said the United States deserved 9/11 and maybe people should murder Senator Rick Scott. Now, he said he apologized for that, but only because he was kicked off social media for saying you should kill a sitting Republican office holder. All of that is fair game. This guy's a very damaged candidate.
And the father-in-law, one of the biggest donors to the campaign and the biggest boosters, is a founding member of an organization that has been investigated for funneling money to the Muslim Brotherhood on the way to Hamas. I mean, these are really crazy, crazy things. And I think it's fair to ask questions about all of them, just like you would.
Yeah, crazy is not the word. We have crazy, insane. I think we have extreme definition to define that type of verbiage. And I think that they have a place called prison. People who talk like that.
When Trump's campaigning with, just like anyone is campaigning with, we would all say scrutinize them, and that's what this is. I think it's...
Wow. I'm delighted to see a moral center has been found, man. Because, I thought you guys were the party of Laura Loomer. I thought it was Steve.
Not me. I would say the same thing about those people.
What I would say, though, to me is that, when I look around not at who the president has surrounded himself with, who the president is and who the president has empowered, and some of the things that these people have said and done, I think it's best if we kind of get the pearl clutching out of the way and concentrate on the policy, because
pearl clutching Hamas and Israel on their same moral footing. That's pearl clutching.
Pearl clutching. Two different arguments are meshing together for this guy. I think they're combining and meshing together. I don't understand that because the arguments are completely different. You don't have to agree with everything Trump said in the beginning to still ask questions about El-Sayed's actual position and the people that he chooses to associate with, like Hasan Piker. And saying, what about Trump or what about Laura Loomer doesn't really answer the question. You can scrutinize both. Roll it.
Footing, that's pearl clutching.
Well,
no
I mean-
sane person would say something like that and not take it back.
Well, then I'm very insane, because this is what I'll say. I'll say that a lot of people are looking at Israel and its actions since October 7th and don't see a moral footing for them to stand on and criticize anyone. A lot of people are looking at dead
That's Hasan
children.
Piker's view, that
Right.
there's no moral distinction between Israel and Hamas.
Well,
And Al-Sayed, yes.
Republicans are thrilled to litigate that issue.
That's fine. I'm glad. I'm glad that you guys are thrilled. I'm glad that you find joy. We should all have joy in life.
I hate to break up this foreign policy discussion, but what about the economy? Because I'm not saying that flippantly. I'm just saying, you know, there is a hierarchy of needs here for the American people. And I don't think there's really any question that at the top of that list is the economy. And there are all these things you could say about El-Sayed and a lot of these other candidates. But one of the big reasons that these messages, whether you call them socialist or not, are working is because people feel like the system is broken. It ain't working for them.
Briefly, not all the way in. I'm sorry, Abby, but briefly, I mean, Van, you weren't so much defending the candidate. You were doing this thing that we've become accustomed to calling whataboutism. I thought the president had these bad affiliations. It does seem totally appropriate to address El-Sayed's politics and proposals, but also to address his affiliations. And the affiliation with Hasan Piker is one that strikes me as particularly odd. Nick Fuentes is someone who is a vile, awful character in our politics, but he's also not someone who I've seen any prominent Republican aspirant or elected official like palling around with regularly. There was that conversation about Donald Trump having lunch with him.
Yeah, that was
What are you talking about?
Kanye brought him to the dinner.
I'll be with Van on that.
And for the most part, but honestly, for the most part, you've only heard prominent Republicans repudiating him. I do think the permission structure on the left gives me some concern.
Now, listen to what my friend, I'll just go ahead and say this. This guy's my friend. But listen to what this guy just did. The president of the United States had dinner with the most prominent white supremacists right now in the entire world.
I'm not dismissing.
You did dismiss it.
No,
You have some of the same views as you just said about Israel.
Wait a second. No.
Yeah.
You did dismiss it.
Isn't that bad?
What you did was you attempted very artfully to skirt over it in order to talk about Hasan Piker
I'm
with
establishing-
a prospective Senate candidate when the president in some way found himself at a dinner table with an avowed white supremacist.
Can I go a little further?
And actually didn't kick him out.
Let me just go a little
This is the
further.
type of dissonance that we're dealing with.
Well, no, what I want to put on the table is that we are engaging in this pretty foul calculus of trying to figure out who is actually worse, because our politics and the culture surrounding it are so depraved. But there is a real question about whether or not that depravity is being tolerated in ways that should concern us.
I asked Bernie Sanders about this week, and he basically said that the whole anti-Hasan Piker thing is cancel culture.
I'm less focused on folks who are campaigning with me, more focused on the folks I'm campaigning to. And I think it's important to stay in touch with the folks who you want to elect you.
Has he ever heard of guilty by association?
Here's how El-Sayed makes
What's the
the
Republican message on the economy to counter the El-Sayed message on the economy, which is that we're trying to put more money in your pockets. We're going to do so by taxing the rich, by doing all these different things.
Yeah,
What's the other
Step
argument?
A, step B,
What's the
money in
other
your
argument?
pocket. Yeah, so the Republicans do have an economic message. That's a problem. The El-Sayed economic message, I think, is really easy for Republicans to swat away because he himself brings it back to Israel. He himself says that foreign aid, the minuscule, economically illiterate argument that foreign aid is taking money out of your pocket,
Donald Trump has
is his
done
case.
For the last 10 years, which is to say, we need to end these foreign wars. Let's stop funding war in Ukraine because it's taking money out of your pocket.
That's a stupid argument.
I'm just saying,
it's still stupid in their mouths too.
It is the beacon by which the America First movement, got its footing. It is legitimately the bedrock of it. And by the way, you know as well as I do that there is a huge far-right insurgency that believes all of the same things in that kind of horseshoe. If it's Tucker, if it's Alex Jones, all these people that you guys loved a little while ago, but when they started becoming...
They're not getting elected.
At the end of the day, we all know it's the economy, stupid. So you can debate all day about El-Sayed, Israel, and Hasan Piker, and all of these associations all night long. But Americans still want to know, what are you going to do to put more money in their pockets? Now, what do you think? Do you think that El-Sayed's position and the people that he's associated with will make a bigger difference when it comes down to the voters' booth? Or it's going to ultimately come down to the economy and the promise that he makes to put more money in people's pockets? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so we can keep bringing you debates like this on the Jay Revardo Show.